incline to service. These are the only duties of the living entities. So, what are the duties of the living entities? To serve Krishna by engaging in Kirtana and to become educated in Krishna Shiksha. So, yesterday, also, the gopis in Venu Geet were saying that the only way to know Krishna is from the Vedic knowledge. So, one has to know the Vedic knowledge, and the Vedic knowledge are given in our revered scriptures written by our great acharyas. So, one can know Krishna only from the Vedic knowledge and the Vedic scriptures, and also by engaging ourselves in Kirtana, Satatam Kirtayantoma, that is always trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. So we are not able to chant the whole day, but then when we engage our services like cooking for Krishna, procuring vegetables for Krishna, procuring flowers for Krishna or fruits for Krishna, and then we are thinking, okay, now I'm offering this for breakfast for Krishna, I'm offering this, and it's not that, oh no, today I want to eat this, so I'm going to buy this. No, if you keep your intention and thoughts on Krishna, that is also you are serving Krishna in devotional service. So here it is clearly given that we have to do Kirtana. And Kirtana is Kirtana or Sankirtana is then when like-minded peoples come together and then sing the glories of Lord or chant the Harinam. That is Kirtana. You you should not beg anyone, otherwise we cannot remember the Lord's name throughout, right? If we get engaged in other materialistic activities, it is very difficult to remember Krishna throughout the day. But then if we are doing kirtana, or if we are listening in our scheduled time, in our personal time, when we are not in the external material world, then in that time if we listen to Bhagavatam or read Bhagavatam or do devotional service or listen to kirtans, then we can always remember Krishna. And the rest of the day, when we are in the material world, the songs or the kirtan which we heard will be in our heart. You should not beg anyone for anything other than to engage in these activities, and you should not teach anyone any other subject. For the benefit of all living entities, you should throughout the day beg for the alms, and that I have described to you, and in the evening you should report to me. I will be greatly pleased if I know that you are trying to benefit all living entities. This is my mission. You are like my right and left hand. So this is what Mahaprabhu is telling, and that you give everybody to become educated in Krishna Shiksha by inclined to the services. And these are the only duties of the living entities, to do Krishna Shiksha. How do you do Krishna Shiksha? By reading our scriptures, by the Vedic knowledge. Tomara karile bhikshaye na baliba, tabe ami chakra haste sabare katiba. I will take up my chakra and cut off the heads of those who will not chant after being requested by you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nityananda Prabhu, go and tell people to chant Hare Krishna or Hari Bol. And those who will not chant, I'll take my chakra and cut off their heads. I will destroy that person who becomes inimical to your request for alms by giving him unlimited misery. May people contemplate as follows: being most merciful, why has the Lord created the cruel misfortunes in this world? The verse that tattenu kampam susumikshamano bunjan evatmakritam vipakam kritvag vapubir vida namaste jive tayo mukti pade sadaya bhag. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for your mercy to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering your respectful obeisances within his heart, words, and body, surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So here, the devotee continuously suffers. Despite being a devotee, he is being given bodily suffering, mental suffering, all kinds of suffering, adi daivik, adi bhautik, adhyatmik. But what the devotee does, he doesn't blame his situation, he doesn't blame his karma, he just thinks that probably I deserved more punishment or more consequences, but Krishna has protected me by giving me a little bit of the suffering, and he waits patiently for the mercy of the Supreme Lord, while constantly thinking about the Lord in his body, mind, and words, in his body, and in his heart. And then that person he's got the rightful claim. He's become the rightful patra or dayabak. That means he has eligible to get the mercy. But he patiently waits for that. Okay. So here also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu is the Adi Guru. Nityananda Prabhu Balaram is our Adi Guru, and one has to follow or fall at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu to get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once one gets the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one will get the Radha Krishna Prem. अजनसूनि हसे सब वैष्णव मंडल अन्यथा करीते अज्ञा करा छे बला. On hearing the order, all the Vaishnavas laughed. Who has the power to transgress his order? Who has the power to transgress the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? हेना आज्ञा यहाँ नित्यानंद सिरे वाहे इथे apartita yara se subhuddhi nahe. His order is such that even Nityananda carries it on his head, and anyone who does not believe this is not very intelligent. So the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taken to heart by Nityananda Prabhu, and he carries it on his head. And whose order is this? These are the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who has come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. कराए अद्वैत सेवा चैतन्य न माने अद्वैत ताहारे samhari be bhala mane. If one serves Advaita but does not accept Chaitanya, then Advaita will destroy him without remorse. This was there in our previous chapters also when we were reading about Advaita, that if one is following Advaita Acharya but not accepting Chaitanya, then Advaita will destroy him without remorse. Those mortal beings who give up Chaitanya Deva's path of devotional service and place their faith in Advaita Prabhu's bewildering materialistic Mayavadi philosophy will be destroyed when Advaita Prabhu invokes his form as Rudra, because Advaita came as the Shambhu Tattva in this Leela, and then in his form as Rudra, he will destroy the person who will not follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The followers of Chaitanya become situated on the path of devotional service after realizing their constitutional position as infinitesimal sparks of Supreme Spirit, and the impersonalists who are averse to Chaitanya become eager to reject the Lord's service, being bound in Sri Advaita Prabhu's network of illusion. So one should understand that how small or insignificant is the position of each of us. Each of us are just a small infinitesimal spark. Infinitesimal spark is that in the infinity of the souls, we are one of the souls. So we can never think that we are the enjoyer, controller, and everything. We think means we are going to bring our own fall down and misery. And just look around and contemplate what is happening. The jiva, the living entity, comes in a particular body, lives for some time, and then departs. You will see your grandparents departing, you will see your parents departing, then it is time for us to depart. So better be prepared not to get illusion in this maya or the materialistic world, because everything here is temporary. Although the maya is real, but the time factor in which we are all subject to, because we are in the material world, is temporary. And hence, our presence in this body is also temporary, while the soul is eternal, is part of the Supreme Personality of the Lord. But it is better we realize as soon as possible, because if you see 99 point, you can say 99.9% of the world population don't realize why they have come on the material planet and what are they doing. They are just running about like cats and dogs, or like a rat race, without realizing where they are headed. And they don't realize that this life is not permanent, and everything you possess now is going to perish or going to be taken away. Like it is said that we came empty handed and we are going to go back empty handed. So one, it is शीघ्र ही किसी को रियलाइज कर लेना चाहिए कि ये जो भी है, it is like a drama stage. As per the karma balances, we have all come to enact our karma part, and even our family members are part of the same karma balances. So we have uh, the Lord's way of giving reactions to us is the various karmas we face. Only thing that Lord delays our karma, He doesn't give it instantaneously. So, at least after realizing this, one should be very careful that one doesn't do any wrong to anybody, think anything negative for anybody, or willfully or unknowingly also doesn't do anything to anybody. So that at least after knowing all this, one should lead a life of Krishna Seva and Krishna Smaran, so that and chanting of the holy names, as we read in the first verse today in 10th verse, that one is have to do kirtan of the Lord, that is the holy name chanting, and also do Krishna Shiksha. And the Krishna Shiksha, the only way is to do read the scriptures along with the association of devotees. When one does this, one is kind of protected by the Lord, and the Lord ensures that our past karmas are nullified, our sins are nullified. It doesn't mean that we will not get any suffering. There will still be karma balances for which we have come on this planet for this lifetime in this body, for which we might have to fulfill our karma and then only depart. Fortune is the controller of one's auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. The reason for this is that conditioned souls who are whimsical due to misuse of their independence achieve aversion to the Lord's service. So, the conditioned souls who are whimsical due to the misuse of their independence. So, what are they doing? They are not using their independence properly. So, while we can say that everything is controlled by destiny, everything is controlled by the preordained, but there is some free will which Lord has given, and it is up to us to whether to satisfy our material desires, or work towards our spiritual satisfying the desires of the Supreme Lord. So, who are whimsical due to the misuse of their independence? Who are these people? The conditioned souls. Independence achieve aversion to the Lord's service. So, those people, if you go and tell them, come to the temple, come to the satsang, or come for this kirtan, they will not come because they are very averse to the Lord's service. While proper use of their independence makes them eligible to approach the lotus feet of Krishna. So, when you use your independence or free will properly, then you become eligible to approach the lotus feet of Krishna. So, this free will has been given to everybody. It is depending on what choices we make every day, which will decide whether the action we are doing is anukulya or pratikul. Is it anukulya to the Krishna bhakti or to the Supreme Lord's devotional service, or it is opposite or pratikul to the whole thing, or pratikul to the our devotional service. Text 15. आ- आज्ञा सिरे करी नित्यानंद हरिदास तथा शणे चली लेना फते सिंहासम. Accepting the Lord's order on their heads, Nityananda and Haridasa smiled and immediately went out on the street. आज्ञा पाई दुई जने भूले घरे घरे बोलो कृष्णा गाओ कृष्णा भजा कृष्णे रे. Being ordered by the Supreme Lord, the two went door to door and requested everyone, please chant the holy name of Krishna, sing the glories of Krishna, and engage in the worship of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done such a wonderful thing that no previous Acharya has done. So this has been now accepted by all the very big Acharyas in our country. They say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself who came in a hidden avatar. Hidden avatar is Channa avatar because not many people know that Krishna came 540 years ago in Navadvip, and he sang his own holy name in separation. Because he came in the mood of Radharani, he was feeling intense separation because he wanted to know how much separation Radharani was feeling when he had left Vrindavan and gone to Kurukshetra. And that is the reason that he comes in the mood of Radharani and he is in intense separation. He is seeking Krishna and he is calling out his own name. And when the name of Krishna or Radha he hears, he starts crying, shedding tears, and he feels all the Ashtasattvic vikar in his body, and he trembles and he used to fall down. And this is the wonderful thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given without seeing anybody's caste, creed, or jat, path, dekhe bina. He has given this holy name or love of Godhead to everyone. And so fortunate were the people of Navadvip that Nityananda Prabhu and Namacharya Haridas Thakur are going door to door and requesting people to sing the glories of Krishna. Text 17. Krishna prana, Krishna dhana, Krishna se jivana, hena Krishna bhala bhai, hai eka mana. Krishna is your life, Krishna is your wealth, Krishna is your very life and soul. O brothers, chant the name of that Krishna with full attention. Krishna alone is the original living force. Inclination towards him is the symptom of Krishna conscious life. So, such a beautiful line this is that what is the original living force? In every living entity, there is Supreme Lord present. And once you try to analyze and think, what is the cause and what is the time when the life or an atma or a soul leaves the body, it is when the Supreme Lord decides that, or it is planned already that when the Supreme Lord wants to leave the living entity. So, along with the Supreme Lord, the soul also leaves with the Supreme Lord because it is consistently guided by the Supreme Lord, and He is the original living force without Supreme Lord in any living entity. That's why the Supreme Lord is present in every living entity. He is the original living force, and inclination to him, that is our tan man dhan, which means our manasa vacha karmana. If we are keeping focus of the Lord, uh, is the symptom of Krishna conscious life. So our consciousness, instead of being in the material world, have to be converted to being conscious of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then only we become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada created this movement called International Society of Krishna Consciousness because we are all conscious of various other variegated matters in our life, our family members, our children, our kith and kin, or whatever it is, or our whatever work we do, we are becoming conscious of that throughout the day. But he said that when you get conscious of Krishna, that is the only time you become Krishna conscious. And when you are Krishna conscious, automatically you will be averse to do things which are unfavorable or which will not please the Lord. You will do only things which are pleasing to the Supreme Lord. Living entities who are averse to Krishna are devoid of life. Objects that are not related to Krishna are worthless. Krishna alone bestows all perfection. Aversion to Krishna is proof of one's material conditioning and lifelessness. So it's very clearly stated that those who are averse to Krishna, those who are averse to Krishna bhakti, are just living a life of a, they are like dead bodies roaming here and there. Okay. And it shows their material conditioning and lifelessness, which means they are actually dead bodies. You can imagine there is a time, because time cycle nobody can control, no matter what science and max you learn, No matter what Jada Vidya you learn, you cannot become eternal in this world. So, with time, your body depletes. With time, the body ages, and with time, it's time for the body to perish because the body is made of all material things. Objects that are not related to Krishna are decorated by the prowess of the illusory energy. So, any object we have, but which is not used for Krishna, that are not related to Krishna, are all there because of the illusory energy. Therefore, the grammatical literatures that instruct one to vibrate topics that are not related to Krishna do not bestow unalloyed and ultimate auspiciousness on the living entities. So, people in this world are writing so many books on the material topics. Somebody might write on stock market, somebody might write on some other concepts, and you can walk across the street and you can see bookstalls. But what is happening? Are these books going to benefit us in any way? These book people are spending so much time and energy to put a book into place, but these books are of no use. These books are not going to solve our problems of janma mrityu jara vyadhi, or give us the eternal Satchidanand. They are not going to give us our eternal Satchidanand, which the soul is seeking. The soul is always young and eternal and seeking bliss, and it's full of knowledge, and it wants to be it lives eternally, and it is seeking bliss. Therefore, the grammatical literatures that instruct one to vibrate topics that are not related to Krishna do not bestow unalloyed and ultimate auspicious on. So these books are not going to bestow any auspiciousness to the living entities. So one should realize there has been tons of newspaper being printed every day, and hordes of other books lying all over the place in the society. But these books are not going to help us in any way. Krishna alone is supremely worshipable. Therefore, glorification of Krishna is the only authorized path. So, he is the only supreme worshipable God, and therefore, his glorification is the only authentic or authorized path. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that just as aquatics always desire to remain in the vast mass of water, all conditioned living entities naturally desire to remain in the vast existence of the Supreme Lord. So here example of the water living entities are given, that the living entities which live in water, they are always comfortable to live in the water body. If you bring them on the land, they will immediately live their life. Similarly, we are all eternal living beings. What are we? We are eternal, transcendental living beings. The soul is an transcendental being or part and parcel of Supreme Lord. And it's a spiritual in nature. But where are we put? We are being put in the material ocean of the material world. We are in the Bhavasagar, where we are hit by the waves of Maya, left, right, and center. So the spiritual being will be uncomfortable in a material situation. The spiritual being will be comfortable only in a spiritual world. That is why the soul is constantly hankering for for love, for eternal bliss or happiness, Anand, Satchidanand, and eternality. And the soul is being captured in the body, which is a material body, is consistently full of bhaya because it is realizing that uh, that the body is not able to cooperate with the soul's nature. The soul is eternal, but the body is temporary, and hence there is a dvandva in the body. The dvandva क्या है कि वो soul आनंद में रहना चाहता है, बट यहाँ पे क्या मिल रहा है उसको? मिजरी मिल रहा है। हर स्टेप में मिजरी मिल रहा है, हर स्टेप में भय भय हो रहा है उसको। भय इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि ही इज slowly realizing that his body is kind of not cooperating with the objective of eternality, and hence he is in constant bhaya. But the people who realize that he is not this body, is the soul, and what is the original purpose of this life, and what is my constitutional position, that soul is kind of even liberated in this body itself, And by serving the Supreme Personality of God, that soul is able to relish Vrindavan even in this lifetime. And because he is always thinking of Krishna or serving Krishna, he is in the Krishna consciousness throughout. And for that soul, leaving the body will be of no issue, or he will not have any bhaya or pain. We'll take one more verse 18 and then we will stop. ए माता नदी आया प्रति घरे घरे भूलिया वेदना दुई जगत ईश्वरे. In this way, the two controllers of the universe went to every house as they wandered through Nadia. Just a minute. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur are both controllers of the universe, the people of this world. Who is Namacharya Haridas Thakur? He is Brahma, he himself took the avatar of Haridas Thakur in Chaitanya Leela. And Nityananda Prabhu is none other than Balram, the first expansion of the Supreme Lord. The people of this world accept wrong paths and fall into calamities. These two lords provide auspiciousness to such misguided people by becoming their guides, protecting the living entities from Prajalpa and engaging their speech in the service of the Lord. The expert guide Srila Haridas Thakur helps them control their sinful minds and invite the favorable flow of thoughts in order to protect their body and limbs from aversion to the worship of Krishna, and thus delivers them from their bodily hardship. So what Haridas Thakur is doing, that to bring our thoughts and mind away from topics which are not related to Krishna, not to be engaged in Prajalpa, and see that maximum time we are spending about thinking or reading about Krishna. That way we can bring lesser hardships to our body and hence also become more auspicious by thinking about Krishna. And Lord Nityananda removes the unhappiness of this world and merges the living entity in eternal bliss. So, what is the term Nityananda means? Nitya means always, and Ananda means bliss. So, Nityananda will give us the eternal happiness when we follow the footsteps of Nityananda, who has given the holy name Jare Dekhe Tara Kaho Krishna Upadesh. He went door to door and gave. And Namacharya Haridas Thakur, who used to chant more than 3 lakh names, that is more than 192 rounds in a day. He also went along with him door to door telling people to glorify Krishna and chant Krishna's name. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam to all of you.
Hare Krishna, Markine Bhagavat. Just 2 paragraphs we'll sing. Guru Krishna Koile, Guru Kripa Koile Krishna. Guru Kripa Koile Krishna, Ada Mera Prati. Kila Giya Nileheta Karoe Begati. Guru Kripa Koile Krishna. Ache kichu karja japa no mane. Ache kichu karja taba no mane. Nahe ke no ani bena ugrastane. Guru kripa koile Krishna ada mera prati. Kila giya nileheta Koroe begati, Puro kripa koile Krishna. The meaning goes as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. Second one, but I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Hare Krishna. Can we close, Mataji? Mataji, we can close the class.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you,
Mata.
Mataji, for wonderful class. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Mataji,
Hare Krishna
Dandavat.
Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.